And we're here at the Hasbro booth. That's Star Wars Celebration. I usually say San Diego Comic-Con at this point. So Star Wars Celebration Chicago with the Hasbro team. Guys, introduce yourself.
Absolutely. My name's Patrick Schneider. I'm the Senior Brand Manager on our fan business.
And Sam Smith, Design Manager on the fan business.
Guys had a great panel yesterday, a lot of big announcements. I have a follow-up question to specifically the prototype Vader you're doing for San Diego Comic-Con. What does the prototype for the prototype Vader look like?
Oh, that's it.
Surprisingly, the first prototype we got in was all black. It was so disappointing because we were already working. We already had like all colors picked out and everything. The prototype comes in, it's like, oh.
Someone was totally punking you on that one.
You know, and a lot of that just sort of goes back to the simplicity of the molds for those figures. You know, we see a lot more of the colors really being celebrated on some of our Black Series and our super articulated vintage collection figures because there's so many parts, there's so many individual cavities, so all these different molds are being shot in different colors, where as we get into the retro collection figures, you know, there's such simple molds that, you know, it's like 1 to 2 molds and we have our figure itself. So it's it was a little bit disappointing, but then we were able to get our second round of revisions in and really started to let us see them shine.
And there's 3 different Vaders in the case, so is it random? Is it each one going to be different when you're at Comic-Con, or are there like, is there a set number? Is there an infinite number?
So someone has done the math, but there are very there's only a few parameters that the manufacturing you know, assembly has to follow. One is that the head can never match the torso color, and that no 2 limbs can exceed a single color. So it might have 2 blue legs or 2 blue arms, or 1 blue leg and 1 blue arm, but it can never have like 2 blue legs and a blue arm. So based on that, also the lightsaber itself has to be a different color from the arm that it extends from. So you can start to, you know, make the assumption based on that and the fact that there's 6 colors that we're using.
So we had a great fan in here earlier who was like throwing out terms like permutations and combinations and all set to do the math, and I was like, God bless you, my friend. So, so there is a finite amount of combinations, and you can calculate them if you like.
Head math, I'm doing about 64,000. So.
Per our legal team can neither confirm nor deny that.
Now, the retro line itself has been an amazing success, and it hasn't even shipped yet. Target pre-sold out completely, Target exclusive line. Is this a one-time thing for you guys, or is it something that you're looking at possibly continuing with more retro figures in the future?
It's a good question. I mean, certainly this year felt like the right year to do it, like conclusion of the Skywalker saga. You know, we talked about how Hasbro and Kenner have been there kind of for the whole journey, so we really wanted to celebrate the start of that with this line. We also know that like nostalgia's on trend, like kind of throwback Thursdays, so we thought that it was a great opportunity to do it. You know, the fan reaction has been great so far. If it remains that way and the line does great, then, you know, certainly wouldn't rule it out continuing in the future.
Would you consider going into new media with the retro collection, or because you did the Tarkin that wasn't made?
Yeah. It's an interesting idea, yeah. When we first, so Sam actually, this is his brainchild, so brilliant idea from Sam and his team. Yeah, we talked about like, do we recreate the original figures? Do we do figures like Tarkin from the OT that haven't been done before? Do we do characters, you know, from the sequel trilogy, from Rogue One, from the prequels? So, I mean, if this line takes off and fans continue to love it, then I think you might see all of those in the future.
Droids, Ewoks, Vlix?
They all sound great to me.
Make all the loose collectors mad. Make 1 million Vlix.
Yeah.
Now, on the retro line, seeing them here packaged, that giant red sticker, it's just a sticker, right? It's not actually printed on the card?
That is correct, just a sticker, yep. So we tried to thread the needle with this line, right? We wanted to make the figures available, but we didn't want to kind of upset people who had the originals, so we modified the packaging slightly. All the figures are date-coded, so shouldn't undermine the value of the originals, and also kind of celebrating, again, that it's a new line throwing back to the old line.
And those are 5 POA figures. You've got a couple other 5 POA lines that are in stores now, the Galaxy of Adventures line and the Resistance line. There was no talk about either of those in the panel yesterday. Are those still moving forward?
Yeah, so we don't have anything that we can share at this time. Again, we don't have, we have a lot of product coming out this fall, but none that we can really talk about in addition right now. there's certainly, lines that we want to continue on. We have plenty of Star Wars entertainment to really be able to support these, and ultimately, all of our scales are going to be heavily supported in the fall.
All will be revealed on Triple Force Friday.
Is Wave 2 of the Resistance figures that you announced going to ship? I thought Wave 2 was announced. No?
Everything that we've revealed on Resistance is what is shown in the case there.
All right.
We'll see what the future holds.
The Galaxy's Edge Black Series exclusives. What is your honest reaction? Because I was in the room when you announced them. Boos everywhere. And I know that it's not against Galaxy's Edge and it's not against you guys, but what is your honest reaction to that?
Yeah. It was boo? I thought it was
ooh. Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, obviously, I think the fans in the crowd love the product. They don't love the fact that it's exclusive to the parks, but we also know that fans here at Celebration love the Celebration exclusives as well. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. The candid truth is that we wouldn't have been able to do those items if it weren't for the Galaxy's Edge exclusive program. So it's kind of like it's bringing something to the fans who are able to go there. We understand the frustration with exclusives in general. They have a place in the line because they allow us to do things we couldn't do otherwise. So we're excited for that, and Disney's been great partners in bringing those items to life. And I personally am super excited that we now have a Hondo Anaka, that we have a DJR 3X, that we have a Mountain Trooper, and excited that they'll be at Galaxy's Edge.
Oh, they're great figures. Do not take the boos as anything else.
Yeah.
In fact, the better they are, the angrier the audience will be.
So it is that double-edged sword. They wouldn't exist if it weren't for Galaxy's Edge. So I'm happy that they exist.
And I didn't quite catch what you said. Are they only going to be made available for the launch of Galaxy's Edge, or are they going to be restocked?
Nope, so they'll be in Galaxy's Edge for the foreseeable future. I think the announcement on the panel yesterday was the date that they'll be available, which is the launch date. But nope, they'll be there in the world of Galaxy's Edge.
Will they only be at Galaxy's Edge, or will they be available at other Disney park stores, downtown Disney?
Yeah, so at this point, the plans are only at Galaxy's Edge. They exist kind of within that world. Like we talked about, the packaging is in-world. It's as though you're a person in the Star Wars world, which you will very much feel when you're in Galaxy's Edge, buying toys that exist in that Galaxy's Edge world.
All right, to the 6-inch Black Series line, the Jump Trooper included a figure stand. Is that something you guys are thinking about doing with other figures?
Yeah, so we started trickling it in with a couple of characters. So we had the Jump Trooper. It was also as part of the Wethead Luke from the Death Star escape. So again, it's a tough kind of thing. It's a nice piece to be able to include, but the big thing is in terms of it's why its shape sort of exists is there's a lot of deformation as we change vendors with the actual peg hole and sort of the size of the foot. So we don't necessarily have a common stand that's just going to work across all of the figures itself, but it is something that we've definitely corrected in recent figures on the Black Series, and it's will be that way going forward. So I don't know that it will necessarily make itself mainline. It's done been well received in terms of our exclusive products. So
I think we always look to the fans to kind of help guide us. So I haven't had anyone here at Celebration ask me about that. If you're here at Celebration and you desperately want to see those stands in mainline or sold as separate packs, definitely come tell us, because if we start receiving an influx of that, we'll definitely look into it.
Yeah, I know people really did enjoy it. There were some reports I got that the Jump Trooper didn't fit quite right all the time. I don't know if it was spotty reports. I haven't opened mine yet.
I would hope he works as well as the Luke because they have the same feet.
And I know you guys can't talk about anything not announced, but I wondered what you could say if somebody, because I got a lot of questions, when is the 6-inch X-Wing coming to match the 6-inch TIE Fighter?
So yeah, so obviously we did a TIE Fighter 4 years ago. An X-Wing is bigger, and that TIE Fighter was already big. A lot of people make the comparison to Jabba's sail barge. The thing that we loved about Jabba's sail barge is it really kind of served as a display for your figures. It fit nicely on a shelf. There are challenges. Those things don't exist with the X-Wing. So again, nothing's revealed. I think that is an iconic 6-inch scale vehicle. I'd love to see it in the line. Maybe it'll happen in the future.
Okay, so it's not ruled out.
Nope.
No, I mean, again, if there's certainly the demand for it. I think it's certainly something that could be feasible for the line. The big problem that it has, Patrick mentioned, like the sail barge, which is 4 feet long, has a depth of only about 14 inches, so it nests beautifully on a shelf. You take something like an X-Wing, you also add about 4 feet to the width. So In terms of displayability, you're really offering up a lot more space. We got so many complaints just on the TIE Fighter alone. If I don't have anywhere to put this thing, it's like, all right, well, you're about 4 times the size for an X-Wing. So again, if there's the demand there for it, we'd love to make it. But
Speaking of demand, you guys did the Instagram poll for the Black Series Empire Strikes Back 40th anniversary figure. Dagobah Luke won. Are you guys... have you decided how you're going to do Dagobah Luke? I know in my poll that we did on our site, everybody was saying Dagobah Luke with backpack. They want to be able to put the Black Series Yoda in the back. Or is that something you're considering including?
Ooh, can I?
So the Dagobah Luke won the fan vote. We're doing Dagobah Luke with no Yoda, no backpack. But we certainly had fans say, hey, it would be really great to get kind of a different Yoda that fits in the backpack. It's a great idea. Maybe something we'll look at in the future, but I wouldn't rule it out.
All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for your time. It's always a great talking to you, and I'll see you at San Diego.
Thank you so much.
Not you. I'll see you at San Diego.
See you there, Arnie.
I'll be with my newborn baby, so much better.
Thanks. Thank you.
Good to see you. Absolutely.
Good to see you.